Yo, welcome everybody back into Crypto's News. It's me, Omar Bam, aka Crypto, and we're here live in 4K again. It's nice to have the video back in 4K because we haven't had it in 4K since I think like Vegas, maybe even LA a while ago. But like I've said, I've been trying to get the quality back up for you guys, for the quality you guys deserve, for your quality crypto information. So welcome everybody back in. I've collected a lot of stuff and I'm eagerly excited to share with you what's been going on over the last week in crypto. I firstly thank those of you guys for your continued support, those of you who always show up to the live streams, and the many of you who offer your support by sharing, hitting that like button, and talking about this show to your friends. Because if you tell two people and then they like it and they tell two people and then some of those people tell two people, that's how we can get our numbers back up to get continue to give you guys great quality content. So we're going to get right into things by taking a look at CoinGecko. So looking at the prices, we're down 0.9% overall for market caps for crypto, down to $2.734 trillion. Bitcoin dominance 49.7%, Ethereum at 15.4%. And yeah, we've crawled back up to basically around $70,000 here for Bitcoin, trending a little bit lower, I guess, over the last couple of days, but we did manage to get back to $70,000. Ethereum, however, has not gotten back to $4,000. Ethereum is down 2.2% over the last 24 hours at $3,508. Although you're seeing now that some meme coins are definitely popping off. So look at Dogecoin, top 9 right here. It's up 25.5% over the last 7 days. So there's definitely some frothiness that is taking place here in the markets. Toncoin, whatever it is, 17.8%. Bitcoin Cash, 34.1%. It's been a fantastic week for Bitcoin Cash. There's been some drama around Bitcoin Cash, namely around the subreddits, the Bitcoin Cash subreddit and the BTC subreddit. These are places that people go to disseminate a lot of information around this particular cryptocurrency. And there has been a shakeup around the moderators. One of them got removed, and from one of them after like some sort of coup. But was it a coup? I don't know. There's a lot of information from both sides, from different moderators coming out here that I'm still trying to dive into. But something going on there. But it doesn't seem to have affected the price very much. If anything, it affected the price positively. And one coin here that was probably the first coin that I got interested in buying after Ethereum. This was back like in 2016. They had announced a pre-sale, basically. This was like during the ICO era, like right when ICOs were beginning to take off, pre-2017. And this is Internet Computer Protocol, and that is up 56.1% over the last 7 days. And that's quite remarkable. It's down at $18.34. So you guys have asked me to talk about some other coins as well besides Bitcoin and Ethereum. So I guess I'll have to do that. But yeah, I was not actually able to get into this pre-sale because it was one of the first sales at the time that required you to like pre-register. Usually it was reserved more for venture capitalists. So you had like Andreessen Horowitz, Paradigm getting involved with that. For myself, it was not easy to invest, nor did I invest at the time. And it actually exploded when it finally launched in 2021 and the tokens were released. But I had a lot of concerns around buying it because it just looked like it was not liquid enough. It looked like it didn't have enough supply out there, and that it was being held by a lot of these venture capitalists. So I was just not interested in buying it at the time. So I never actually held ICP in any real sense, which is, I guess, kind of a good thing because it is still down quite a lot from the highs. So the all-time high was $700.65. It's down 97.4% from that period, which is just about 3 years ago, almost 3 years ago, as it says here. And the all-time low is $2.87. So what's happening here? I mean, check out this chart. It's absolutely crazy. Basically launched at a massive price and just dropped. And now it looks like it's coming to life. Maybe the internet is finally, or crypto is finally beginning to recognize ICP being seen as a huge possible contender for a protocol for blockchains, a kind of alternative blockchain using these different kind of doc packet things. And it will enable, of course, decentralized applications, smart contracts, Web 2 apps, Web 3 apps, being able to ping HTTPS. It's just like, it's something that was quite groundbreaking when it was announced, and huge transaction per second count versus Ethereum. It does something, I had read, like 30 blocks a second at this time. But yeah, it's fallen out of favor with the community largely because of what was being called a pump and dump. For example, I had just come across this article. Like, I wanted to know what was going on with ICP. And it looks like it fell out of favor because there was some sort of pump and dump scam. This was posted by Crypto Leaks. That was basically initiated by FTX, by Sam Bankman-Fried himself. See, you couldn't trade this token when it was on the test net, only when it was on the mainnet after May 2021. And so there were contracts. Really, this one contract, the ICP perpetual contract, futures contract, that was available on FTX, that was supposedly used, according to this article, in order to pump and dump this token because it was seen as a real contender against other coins like Solana that FTX had a sizable stake in. And I've heard it also called out by others saying, like, the Avalanche folks wanted to see it fail. Ethereum folks wanted to see it fail. Solana wanted to see it fail. So there was interest in creating chaos around this token and making the public hate it by running some sort of pump and dump scan. Now, this hasn't been proven, of course. We can't really hear remarks right now because Sam Bankman-Fried is in jail pending his sentencing, which we're going to get into a little bit later on. But it's just interesting that basically it has not been talked about very much. I think now, again, it's just coming out, especially now with what's going on with the prices. That's when people really start paying attention to things, is when the prices really take off. Oh, good to see you guys. I couldn't really see the chat, but I just saw it post up. So what's up, Skynet, Kevin, Mr. J, Validator, Renee, what's up, Sean Simpson? We got all the whole family here. What's up, guys? Scott, I love seeing the names. These names have been around like literally through thick and thin, through this channel's ups and not even this channel's. Well, this channel's ups and downs, and the last channel's up and downs. Thank you guys so much. Hope you're doing well in Australia too, Scout. So yeah, I just took a very, very small stake in Solana again because it is interesting to me, because you look at, I'm not in Solana, ICP, because you look at Solana, it goes down constantly. It looks like technically it's kind of a mess. I haven't seen any sort of similar issues really spring up at all with ICP, but with the price, I think, comes fame, and then come a lot of speculations and scrupulousness. So it's something I'm going to be following a little bit more to see what goes on. And it's a really, really super small stake, just sharing that with you guys. But I think there's definitely potential here, because you look at the total supply, 516 million-ish, circulating supply quite close to that at 461 million. The market cap is very close to the fully diluted valuations, assuming that the total supply was available for trading. That would be the market cap. It's nothing like you see some of these other tokens that have issued rather have a circulating supply that's a lot lower versus the total supply that will eventually exist, and you see some super ridiculous market cap. Like, when the heck would that be reached unless the dollar completely falls apart and this token like usurps Ethereum and Bitcoin and everything else, which is like just a little bit unlikely. This is like a little bit more likely to me. So like looking at some of these other tokens, frankly, I think like just based on what they're trying to do, it probably belongs next to Polkadot here, next to Avalanche, next to Cardano, next to the Ethereums, next to Solana, and it's still way down here. What is that? Number 21. So in my opinion, probably has some room to climb. So like, let's say it just managed to catch up to Polkadot. That's like, I guess, another like $3-4 billion market cap that it can climb. But let's say it goes all the way up to Solana. For some reason, everybody decides to hate Solana and they decide that it's going to be ICP. I know, long shot. I know. But we're dreamers here. We dreamed with Ethereum when it was like at $10 and Bitcoin at $250. So we can dream. And I think that would be a huge gain, right? From 8.5 billion all the way all the way up to 81 billion. So we're talking like a 10x potential here. And that's not even like with the whole market cap climbing. So I'm seeing it pop up more ICP, and I just wanted to give it a nod because I think it is one of the more serious projects. The guy who founded it, Dominic Williams, was like a genius, created an AI when he was 14, studied in Stuttgart, Germany, worked for IBM, really knows his stuff, and he created something quite unique in this space. So yeah, if you've been around for a while, you guys have heard me mention ICP in the past, but it's been a long time. So I wanted to mention that. I wonder if you guys are looking at that. I wanted to find the chain link of AI. I don't think it exists yet. I don't think it does yet, like, because it's you would have to get all these different AIs. I mean, just LLMs to be able to communicate with each other. But I mean, it's interesting that usually to pay for compute for these different large language models, you use these tokens, right? I think it's like perfect. Like I mentioned this before too. If they were to actually tokenize the usage of these AIs, I think it would be a long way off from some sort of chain link to be able to connect them. But I could imagine something like that in the future as we see like the dominant players actually get more entrenched, I guess you could say, but it's still quite early. Like, didn't Claude like just surpass on certain tests? Claude 3 just surpassed ChatGPT 4, and then we'll see what the next ChatGPT is, like ChatGPT 5, or not ChatGPT, but GPT 5. We'll see what that comes out like. But like the competition is extremely fierce. It really does feel to me like following AI that we're somewhat close to singularity, like for real. And that was always something I was interested in starting the show. It seems like we're in the early stages of going more parabolic in this kind of technology. And I'm super fascinated to see how all this ties together, AI, cryptocurrencies, because I firmly feel if AI had to make a choice on like the best or the best currencies and assets, it would probably veer toward like Bitcoin, like as some sort of stable asset expectation to build some sort of new monetary system on, if it didn't have some sort of implicit bias put there by the controllers. And so we'll see how this goes. Very fascinating to follow. I'll update you guys as we go there. But yeah, thanks for the comment, Eric. Swift has announced that they are going to be launching their CBDC platform. So as I mentioned before, Swift, if you're not familiar, basically they work with some crazy number of banks, over 11,500 banks and financial institutions across 200 countries, facilitating the daily transfer of trillions of dollars, basically enabling these institutions to send money between each other. And they have decided to start piloting programs for central bank digital currencies, and it looks like they're getting ready to launch. They've announced a new platform to connect these international banks within the next 12 to 24 months, a new platform for that using central bank digital currencies, and it would be agnostic to any one central bank digital currency. It would perhaps enable China to use theirs, or any of these different countries that have been experimenting with CBDCs. Bahamas, Nigeria, Jamaica have all launched their own CBDCs. The European Central Bank is exploring the digital euro. So I don't think this is anything to really destroy cryptocurrency, except that it might cause for more call it verification, money verification, seeing where all this money is in real time, and potentially blocking transaction into cryptocurrencies from hostile entities. And I think there's a real reason for these sort of central banks to want to fight something like Bitcoin and to enable people to hold these things and buy these things. So I think this is still a fight that's a way away, but that's really the only major hostility that I see coming from this. Realistically, it's just the same fiat monetary system trying to innovate and reduce costs for themselves and things like that. I think some sort of actual collapse in trust of these traditional fiat currencies would also bring down this platform, unless it did directly integrate cryptocurrencies, which may be possible. This kind of technology, they're saying, is going to allow banks to leverage the infrastructure they already have and easily integrate into it. I know there's a lot of pushback against central bank digital currencies and so on. And for now, all we can really do is monitor these developments. But I don't see them as a real killer of truly decentralized cryptocurrencies. Just wish to provide an update there. Hey, Nickel, howdy, man. So good to see you always, man. You should visit. You should visit me in Texas, or I can come see you in LA. I'm gonna be in LA in. Are you in LA? Are you in Vegas? I don't even know where you're at, bro. Are you in Sweden? Were you? Not Sweden. But yeah, I'm going to be in LA in August, so it would be super cool to catch up, man. So there's this case going on with the SEC. If you haven't heard about it, basically the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, has accused Coinbase of selling unregistered securities. They never registered with the entity. And so there has been a decision made by the district judge here, Catherine Feia. It seems like kind of like a Portuguese or Brazilian name there. But these were the comments on some initial comments here, which means that basically the Coinbase was trying to get this dismissed, this entire case, saying we're not selling those. These are not securities. These are crypto assets. And they don't easily fit into the definition of what is a security according to the Howey test and this old law that's worked for like 80 years, whereby there was a citrus grove that was cut up into different parts, and there could be investment into different parts of the citrus grove that eventually established this law that has worked for some time, but does not as easily encompass crypto. But the SEC disagrees. So let me just read some of these comments. This initial comment here: the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, or the Commission brings this enforcement action against Coinbase Inc., Coinbase and Global (CGI), collectively defendants, alleging that Coinbase intermediated transactions in crypto asset securities on its trading platform and through related services, all in violation of the federal securities laws. At first blush, the addition of the prefix crypto to a commonly understood word like asset may suggest a paradigm shift. Ow. Like, I read that sentence and I'm like, dang, this judge is clearly not on Coinbase's side. That's let's read it again and we'll continue. At first blush, the addition of the prefix crypto to a commonly understood word like asset may suggest a paradigm shift, and indeed it is the putative differences between crypto assets and their more traditional counterparts that animate defendants' arguments. It is undisputed, for instance, that Coinbase provides a platform and other services that allow customers to transact in hundreds, and in one instance, or for one period, thousands of different crypto assets. It is also undisputed that Coinbase offers these services without registering with the SEC as a securities exchange, broker, or clearing agencies. Coinbase reasons that the transactions executed and facilitated through its platform and related services do not qualify as securities and thus fall outside the scope of the SEC's delegated authority. The SEC disagrees and counters that at least some of the transactions on Coinbase's platform and through related services constitute investment contracts, which the federal securities laws have long recognized as securities. The parties readily acknowledge that the viability of this enforcement action hinges on this difference of opinion. Defendants have moved for judgment on the pleadings pursuant to Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 12C. Having now carefully considered the parties' arguments, as well as the many amicus curiae submissions in this case, the court concludes that because the well-pleaded allegations of the complaint plausibly support the SEC's claim that Coinbase operated as an unregistered intermediary of securities, defendants' motion must be denied in large part. So it cannot simply be dismissed. The SEC had enough arguments on their behalf that this should go to trial before a jury. As explained herein, the crypto nomenclature may be of recent vintage, but the challenged transactions fall comfortably within the framework that courts have used to identify securities for nearly 8 years. So the way that this is put here also does not look great, coming from the judge's views here toward Coinbase. Further, the court finds that the SEC adequately alleges that Coinbase, through its staking program, which allows customers to stake up to 5 different cryptos on the platform, engaged in the unregistered offer and sale of securities. However, the court agrees with defendants that they are entitled to dismissal of the claim that Coinbase acts as an unregistered broker by making its wallet application available to customers. So basically it said, all right, Coinbase, it's cool. The wallet is not making you an unregistered broker, that like app, that one feature of your platform. But staking, trading of these other things that are potentially securities, boo boo. So this is actually a huge case, because this case, I mean, it calls into account precedents that have been set with other different tokens, such as Luna, such as Matic. It looks at different cases, but there's really not that much that's going on with crypto, just a few cases to look at. And so there's not much to draw on. This will likely in the future be one of the cases that is drawn on for future civil actions, or whatever else, penalties, you name it. So this is a huge case. I think it could potentially disrupt, if Coinbase was to lose the ability for United States citizens to stake on the platform, which could be, I think, potentially disruptive to some of the coins that are available for staking there, such as Ethereum. It could mean that things shift, for example, in what entities become powerful. Or rather entities, what kinds of nodes become powerful, what kind of clients become powerful based on the huge vote that Coinbase has in this space. And it means that it will be more difficult for staking users to stake on any sort of centralized platforms anywhere. So I think this could actually be a good thing in a way, because it would incentivize users to run their own nodes and stake themselves without the further risks that can come from a centralized holder of these, or custodian rather, of these tokens. But the whole thing is that it makes it easier. Some people don't have the ability to have 100% uptime on their computers. They don't want to have to manage upgrades, manage all sorts of situations that can happen by having to run your own node. And for many users, it's simply easier to participate this sort of way. So yeah, it goes into a lot. I mean, I tried to read as much of this as I could, and I urge you to do so if you want to look at how this could be interpreted, the Howey test in regards to this being securities. Of course, none of this is set in stone. It's just looking at arguments. Definitely seems to favor the Security Exchange Commission's arguments here. But I definitely disagree. And I think it's the same, of course, from Coinbase. Here was a comment by Paul Gruel, the chief legal officer at Coinbase. He said, "Today, the court decided that our SEC case will move forward on most of the claims, but dismiss the claims against Coinbase Wallet. We were prepared for this, and we look forward to uncovering more about the SEC's internal views and discussions on crypto regulation. Early motions like ours against a government agency are almost always denied. But clarity is the ultimate goal, and today's decision continues on that path. While we continue this process and any necessary appeals, we encourage Congress to build on the momentum we saw last year to advance comprehensive digital asset legislation in the United States. This is critical if we want innovation to remain in the United States. We also appreciate the court's understanding that technology innovations like Coinbase Wallet do not and cannot implicate U.S. securities law. Looking ahead, we remain confident in our legal arguments. We look forward to proving we're right. We are eager for the opportunity to take discovery from the SEC for the first time, and we appreciate the court's continued consideration of our case." So this battle is about to intensify, and I think it will affect users' abilities to transact with many things going forward. So I will try to update you guys as we go on here. What's up, Curb? Nilum Resources enters letter of intent to acquire $24,800. So I just wanted to quickly mention this one. This is just kind of wild. So there is a holding company, penny stock, named Nilum Resources, and they decided to announce that they were making a deal with a company called Zyber Data Ltd. that connects hundreds, if not thousands, if not millions, if not billions of entities across the world. Anyway, they were going to work with Zyber Data to create this new common stock Class C that would raise money to buy 24,800 Bitcoins at a discounted rate relative to current market prices. So they were going to try to use some sort of like OTC deal or some sort of other deal to acquire a huge amount of Bitcoin, when it looked like they don't even have close to that amount of money, that amount of earnings, that amount of revenue. And if they could raise that money through Class C stock, I guess they figured maybe if they made the announcement that they were going to be the next MicroStrategy, that they would be able to sell enough of this stock to raise that amount of money. So they were going to create this new entity, special purpose entity in Mauritius, which is totally like legit. Like whenever you want to get like a legit crypto bank and they won't give you a bank anywhere else, you just go to Mauritius or one of these islands and you can be all right. If you want to start your own crypto exchange, you're going to be all right. I mean, you might be seen as shady potentially, but you're going to have your business. But anyway, they're going to be acquiring Bitcoin and other assets. And after they announced this, there was a huge climb in the price of this stock of Nyla. It ballooned. Like if you were holding it, if you managed to buy it right after this announcement, and sell it at the right time, you did quite well, let's just say. But if you continue to hold on to today, you can see you're down 95.0%, 95.07% off of just like today's Wednesday. Yeah, so based off of yesterday. So it looks like it was a massive pump and dump. And that's exactly what we're hearing about from the CEO who has apparently stepped down from Nylum Resources. His name is Ron McIntyre. As of today, he said when he spoke to Protos, this website, this journalistic, beautiful site, after speaking to Protos, he said as of today, he has resigned as CEO and had his name removed from all corporate documents. He still appears in corporate documents for the Nevada entity as a director, president, secretary, and treasurer, but has stated that he's going to resign from those roles immediately. He said, just look at the chart. It's a classic pump and dump, and there will be a FINRA investigation into Nylum Resources. So it looks like he's just trying to step away from some sort of fire. He might not have been CEO for as much as a week. So maybe there was some sort of internal feud. He was saying, hey guys, we really shouldn't do this. But plenty of others were like, why? We're going to do this totally legit. And we're going to maybe get some Bitcoin. And we're going to make bank, yo. Our stock is going to be crazy. Anyway, just... Oh man, that looks like this is about to explode probably. I mean, I don't know if the CEO was involved, but it looks like he was at least trying to fight it and he jumped off this ship as quickly as possible. But there more than definitely will be some sort of investigation into this. Just a bit of a heads up on that one. But yeah, 24,800 Bitcoin. We would all love 24,800 Bitcoin. I would love to raise some money. I will give you guys, I will play my drum set 10 times for every Bitcoin that I receive. For every single Bitcoin that I received, I will play my drum set for 1 minute. How about that? And we'll raise $24,800. I mean, Bitcoin's worth of drum set playing when we start this show. So feel free to donate, and we will get this started. And hopefully we can raise let's go for 25,000 Bitcoin. We can do it, guys. Coinbase Cloud announced their completed rollout. So this was about 6 days ago. They completed initial rollout of moving their validator. So as we mentioned, Coinbase allows for staking for Ethereum for now, hopefully for perpetuity, if they continue to be good custodians as they have been. But they have announced that they've moved away from Geth as their main execution client and over to a new client, which is helping with client diversity. So this is the chart right now. You can see that Geth, which is the most popular execution client, is still the most popular execution client. So back in January, Geth, and I had mentioned this before, how it was quite high. Geth had 84% share here. And now it's gone down to 66% after Coinbase has moved 50% of their client choice to other clients. And this is rather good because there have been many talking about a potential risk if there is some sort of huge supercritical bug that happens and Geth is the main client, or this happens to Geth and then billions of dollars worth of ETH is just lost, that is staked. And we can imagine what a disaster that would be for users who lose funds, for platforms' reputations, for losing those funds, obviously Geth, if that was to happen to Geth, luckily it has not, blessedly it has not, and it would just be devastating for trust for the entire Ethereum network. So this is great to see happening. And I definitely commend Coinbase for having done that. They didn't have to do that, but they followed some of this, and they decided to respond in, I think, a very positive way. The real victory cannot be declared until no singular client controls greater than a 33% share, founder and CEO of Ethereum infrastructure lab Labris told Cointelegraph. We can't declare just the victory just yet. SuperViz had recently voiced a critical bug in Geth that could potentially wipe out 80% or more of ETH. There are currently 31.5 million ETH staked, according to Beacon Chain, which is about $113.5 billion at current prices. Ensuring the security of our customers' assets and giving contribution to the resiliency of the Ethereum network are and have always been of paramount importance to us. Diversifying execution clients on our validator helps us accomplish both, said Coinbase. Good times. Oh, what is this? I was just about to do a trade here on KuCoin. We were about to buy some shit coins. We were going to see what was available. I remember I used to go to KuCoin every time I wanted to buy a poop coin that was not available somewhere else. Based on your IP address, we currently do not provide services in your region or country due to local laws, regulations, and policies. We apologize for any inconvenience, yada yada. Please access platform, complete KYC verification based on your IP addresses. We do not. Okay, well, I used to go on KuCoin all the time. What is up? Well, it turns out that they are in the crosshairs here in the United States. Prominent global cryptocurrency exchange KuCoin and two of its founders criminally charged with Bank Secrecy Act and unlicensed money transmission offenses. So they're charging two of the founders, Chun Gan, aka Michael, and Kit Tang, aka Eric. Both are Chinese citizens, for conspiring to operate an unlicensed money transmitting business and conspiring to violate the Bank Secrecy Act by willfully failing to maintain an adequate anti-money laundering AML program designed to prevent KuCoin from being used for money laundering and terrorist financing, failing to maintain reasonable procedures for verifying the identity of customers, and failing to file any suspicious activity reports. You should have at least filed one. There was probably a really shady person on there who's doing some sort of pumping and dumping. I know you didn't have his name and license and stuff. And I personally, I think that's cool. But maybe file suspicious activity on one person. But anyway, they didn't. Anyway, KuCoin was also charged with operating an unlicensed money transmitting business and substantive violation of the Bank Secrecy Act. Currently, Gan and Tang remain at large. According to Damian Williams, U.S. attorney, as today's indictment alleges, KuCoin and its founders deliberately sought to conceal the fact that substantial numbers of U.S. users were trading on KuCoin's platform. Indeed, KuCoin allegedly took advantage of its sizable U.S. customer base to become one of the world's largest cryptocurrency derivatives and spot exchanges with billions of dollars of daily trades and trillions of dollars of annual trade volume. Trillions of dollars of annual trade volume. That's massive. But financial institutions like KuCoin that take advantage of the unique opportunities available in the United States must also comply with U.S. law to help identify and drive out crime and corrupt financing schemes. KuCoin allegedly deliberately chose not to do so. Good job, KuCoin. As allegedly, I sometimes just say stuff that doesn't mean anything. As alleged, in failing to implement even basic anti-money laundering policies, defendants allowed KuCoin to operate in the shadows of financial markets and be used as a haven for illicit money laundering, with KuCoin receiving over $5 billion and sending over $4 billion of suspicious and criminal funds. Crypto exchanges like KuCoin cannot have it both ways. Today's indictment should send a clear message to other crypto exchanges. If you plan to serve U.S. customers, you must follow U.S. law, plain and simple. But this has already happened so many times. When was this? In 2018, when crackdowns really started to happen against exchanges who were not doing KYC, which is why you see exchanges now having KYC everywhere, where you have to prove who you are and so on. But KuCoin basically ignored this all the way up to, so they launched their platform in 2017, KuCoin. They launched a futures trading platform in July 2019. They have 30 million customers-ish, I'm sure. And At least until July 2023, KuCoin did not require customers to provide any identifying information. That was pretty cool, man. I think it was cool. It was only... Oh, there was a slip again. I can't say that stuff. No. Bad KuCoin. It was only in July 2023, after KuCoin was notified of a federal criminal investigation into its activities, that KuCoin belatedly adopted a KYC program for new customers. However, this KYC process applied to new customers only and did not apply to KuCoin's millions of existing customers, including the substantial number of customers based in the United States. Yes. What else? Was there anything super useful here? I mean, this was all quite juicy. I was just going to read as much as I could. But yeah, now you do have to do KYC, as you guys saw when we went on here. I can't access the platform anymore, being here in the United States, but they managed to hold off a respectable amount before they integrated KYC. And that's why they ballooned as well, because a lot of people just strictly are against KYC. They do believe in privacy. They don't believe in honeypots of their information, which are constantly being hacked and used to do fraud on their behalf and to basically steal identity and so much else. Like, I thought this was pretty cool. Yeah, like you could only withdraw like one or two Bitcoin at a time. You couldn't like take out huge amounts unless you were verified. This is probably an exchange like that. I haven't been on KuCoin in ages, right? But hopefully I've been on enough that I'm eligible for an airdrop, because following this, we didn't really hear too much from KuCoin except this letter from KuCoin CEO, $10 million airdrop in KCS and BTC in thanks to community support in 3 days. So when was this announced? Yeah, it was just announced today. So, dear users and supporters of KuCoin, I would like to express my gratitude to all KuCoin users for your support, trust, and companionship during the past few days, as well as past 7 years. So that's like the most we really hear about this enforcement. We will absolutely ensure the security of users' assets as always and comply with regulations to fulfill our trust. As everyone knows, KuCoin's journey has not been smooth sailing. Numerous challenges, tumultuous development, entire crypto industry, ups and downs. We've become stronger. Challenges overcome, earning trust of more users and industry partners. But anyway, they're the people's exchange. They've announced a testament to the community's original affirmation of them. And they are announcing that they're going to be doing a special airdrop event totaling $10 million in KCS and BTC. The rules will be announced within 3 days, but please be aware of any forms of scams. Yeah, like there's probably going to be a bunch of scams coming out. Hey, sign up for the KuCoin airdrop that you heard about on Crypto's News. Here, check this out. No, probably a scam. Like, make sure you're visiting the official website. Although you probably can't use it if you're in the United States or in the right area. Anyway, I wonder if they're going to be giving this airdrop to users of the platform, supporters of the platform, since they were trying to thank all users, or specifically to those who had to endure problems that happened recently where they basically couldn't. It says here, in the early days of October 2017, at the very early stage of KuCoin, we made the unprecedented decision in the industry to proactively acquire and compensate users in large amounts due to the abnormal delisting of a CFD project. So they talk about how they like to compensate users for issues, and recently there were some withdrawal delays that had taken place, and that might be the reason for the airdrop. But anyway, stuff it. You're going to enforcement action us, we're going to give away crypto. I mean, that's like, there seems to be some sort of logic leap there, but I'm all about it, right? I'm all about it. So this is weird. I don't know if you guys have heard about this. I had not mentioned it, but some Binance executives had gone over to Nigeria because Nigeria was cracking down on crypto exchanges, and the country had made a decision to ban several crypto trading websites. So you had Tigran Gambaryan and, I'm sorry I butcher these, Anjar Walla, a British Kenyan, and these employees of Binance had gone over to Nigeria, and as soon as they arrived, they were detained on arrival on February 26th. They were not charged with any crime, and there's still no crime that they've been charged with at all. It looks like session will resume on April 5th for them, so maybe we'll hear more about what they did wrong and why they're being detained. Binance did not respond to Reuters questions about what's going on here. But the company announced early this month that it was stopping all transactions and trading in Nigeria's Naira currency after March 8th. It looks like there are all sorts of issues with the currency that are going on, liquidity issues, shortage issues in Nigeria. So that's probably why Nigeria is cracking down quite a lot. But I'm not a big fan of people being held hostage or kidnapped or whatever you want to call it without being told what they did wrong, if they did anything wrong. My heart goes out to those people and their families, of course. Really shady situation, and hopefully we'll hear more about that on April 5th. Thanks, Renee, for reminding people to hit that like button. I would appreciate it, guys. If you have just a second, so hit that like button. Unless you're driving, don't do it. Don't do anything. Focus on the road. SEC extends decision deadline for Grayscale Ether Futures ETF by 60 days. So some were expecting that we might get a decision from the SEC in regards to the Grayscale Ethereum ETF as early as right now, basically on March 31st, 2024, in a few days. But ahead of that day, the SEC has delayed by 60 days the decision. This is completely expected. I mean, we always expected that the SEC is going to delay these crypto ETF decisions as long as possible, the maximum 240 days before making a decision. This doesn't really mean anything. It doesn't mean that it's going to be approved. It doesn't mean that it's going to be denied. This is just the normal way things have gone in crypto. And they don't seem to have changed after a Bitcoin ETF has launched. This is funny to me that this article at the bottom finishes by saying, while the SEC's decision to delay its ruling on Grayscale's Ethereum Futures ETF might disappoint some crypto enthusiasts, others view the delay as a positive development. They argue that this extension could pave the way for greater adoption of Bitcoin ETFs. That's right. Buy those Bitcoin ETFs before they're not the new sexy thing and everybody buys those Ethereum ETFs. This gives us more time to acquire Bitcoin ETFs because there's only 21 million Bitcoin ETFs. No, wait. No, there's possibly infinite Bitcoin ETFs that could exist. Buy Bitcoin, friends, if you must. Anyway, moving forward here, Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, is tweeting positively about Bitcoin. Again, it's good to acknowledge those who carry our favor within them. So Robert Kiyosaki, who did not go the way of Warren Buffett and many others, said China is in trouble. China borrowing money to buy stocks to prop up stock market. China foolish, desperate. The real problem is consumers of the world have stopped buying. This is not the time to buy stocks and bonds. This is the time to buy real gold, real silver, and as many Bitcoin as you can afford. And he seems to be a bigger fan of Bitcoin than even gold and silver, as we can see from this comment that he had made on March 14th, 2024, when he said, I love gold and silver. I own gold and silver mines. The problem with gold and silver is the higher the prices go, the more gold and silver is found. Same with oil. I own oil wells also. That is not true with Bitcoin. No matter how high the price of Bitcoin goes, there will only ever be 21 million. That's why I love Bitcoin. A bro. He's a Bitcoin bro. Bitcoin maximalist bro. I wonder if he's going to try to... No, he's not going to buy Bitcoin. He's going to buy real Bitcoin. Anyway, so there is, as you know, like we've heard about many times here in the United States, is happening similarly. Maybe you're there in Europe, where they're trying to figure out rules to clamp down on self-hosted crypto wallet. So basically a crypto wallet that you host that isn't on some sort of centralized exchange provider who probably has to do KYC and identify who is using it and so on. So they just scrapped the proposal that they were talking about that was going to have a 1,000 euro or about $1,080 limit on cryptocurrency payments from self-hosted crypto wallets as part of new anti-money laundering laws. They decided to scrap that, but they have plenty of other measures they're trying to integrate still. For example, these CASPs, or what are called crypto asset service providers in the US, do have to perform customer due diligence on users who carry out business transactions of at least 1,000 euros. So fine, let them send like more than 1,000 euros to these platforms if they're not verified. But if they do that, they're going to have to get verified on the exchange anyway. So we'll know who owns the wallet. So this seems a little bit more draconian and more in line with what they actually want, right? CASPs must also apply mitigating measures to transfers between their platform and self-custody wallets. So when you withdraw, where users hold their private keys, which include at least verifying the identity of the exchange wallet holder where funds from a self-custody wallet were sent. The laws limited cash payments to $10,800, with EU member states able to set lower limits, and banned anonymous cash payments over $3,240. So really an attack on privacy, as many are talking about. In a press release, Patrick Breyer had said in opposition to the bill that it compromises economic independence and financial privacy, both of which he considers fundamental rights. He considers the ability to transact anonymously a fundamental right, and I do as well. So not looking good in the EU, maybe even worse in the United States. I hope it turns around for you guys out there. Support those who would turn that around. That's quite a vicious set of laws that could potentially be coming out here. When does it say here? It looks like it's going to be coming out within, what is the next couple, fully operational within the next 3 years. So sometime in 2027, after it gets approval from the EU Council and the European Parliament plenary, which sits next on April 10th, or sits on April 10th rather. So still got some time to change the law, or I guess leave if that's what you want to do. So tomorrow is going to be an important day for Sam Bankman-Fried of FTX fame, or infamy rather. More than 500 days after FTX filed for bankruptcy, the world will soon learn whether former CEO Sam Bankman-Fried remains in prison for decades or receives a lenient sentence. So tomorrow is the day. It's going to be happening in the morning. It looks like 9:30 a.m. Eastern time in New York. They're going to be giving the big sentence. It could be sizable. The seven felony count carries a maximal allowable sentence of 110 years. Prosecutors are recommending he serve between 40 and 50 years to reflect the seriousness of his crimes. But according to a former assistant U.S. attorney in the Eastern District of New York, who probably understands rulings there quite well, and a current partner at law firm Reed Smith, he said to Cointelegraph, I think you're going to see a sentence of, I'm going to handicap about 30 years is what I think SBF will get, maybe more. There's a big dispute between the government and the defense about the loss number here. What is the actual amount that was lost? Because that's a big driver of the guidelines, because there is the potential that a good amount of the money could be returned to those who are due through this bankruptcy, and so that would shift things around somewhat. And obviously that hasn't all concluded yet, but yeah, I guess we'll have to see what happens tomorrow. But he's going to be all over the papers. He's going to be all over the funny papers tomorrow, so make sure you give it a look. And I'll try to do a video if I can tomorrow. I'm trying to do more videos, and maybe I can cover this. Let me know if there's something else that you guys want to be covered that has happened or is happening, and I will try to pay attention to that. Let me know down in the comments if you check this video out today. Today is Wednesday, March 27, 2024. I'm Omar Bam, and I thank you guys so much for showing up. I love each and every one of you guys. I love that it's still, I love new names too, but it's a lot of classics here. Abandoned Baby. Abandoned Baby, I haven't seen that name, or at least not in a long time. I'm going to shout out here to Abandoned Baby, who said, God, I hate US. God, I hate, like, I don't know about US, but there's a lot of things to hate in many places. I don't know. I'm like, I kind of want to move to New York. Like, I'm from New York, and I would love to live in New York, besides the fact that it costs way too much. Like, I love the city, but then at the end of it, I always come back to like, but crypto, they're so hostile to crypto. You can't do anything with crypto freely at all in New York. It is like the antithesis of crypto. It all like starts in New York, and it's too distasteful to me. Too distasteful in me to want to go back there. But my shout outs to my brethren and family out there. For real. Anyway, I'll finish with the quote of the day here, as we do, and I hope this provides some food for thought, even if unrelated to crypto, and I'll catch y'all the next time. Here it is. by John Galsworthy. Idealism increases in direct proportion to one's distance from the problem. Take care, everyone. Much love. And of course, stay cryptic. Peace.